And welcome to the Breakfast Club. My name is Darren Hancock, and it is the 9th of February 2026. Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and welcome to the show today. Let's talk about the market out there. All right, let's start off with the old, let's look at the daily real quick. I hope you all had a great weekend. I never did trigger, did it? Oh, so close, so close. Get rid of that. Alrighty. Get rid of all that stuff there as well. All right. Daily chart. We've had that final dig down into that imbalance we were looking for last week. Finally cut that on Friday, Thursday. Now the question was, were we going to drop below here? This big breaker. We had already took out the midpoint of the breaker, the mean threshold. We closed below that. So my query on Friday was whether or not we were going to drop below the or stay below the close of that down close candle there. And we didn't go any further, and we didn't close below the price imbalance. We just returned back into the range. So what do we have now? We're above this order block here now. So its mean threshold now becomes my line in the sand to come back into this range. If you pull the range low to high, we've already cleared the 50% of the return back into the range. You see that? Return back into this breaker, into its mean threshold, which is the 50% mark. And now we're pulling back. So what I'd like to see now is, right now, we're really between this, and I'm going to move Hadi's 830 there, because he's got a new one that's coming up. That's already up this morning, so I'll put that in there. I'm going to put these on because they're important. So that mean threshold right there of that candle. So I'm between that mean threshold and that mean threshold. So those are the two candles I'm at today. Where we break on the extremes of those over the next day or so will determine which direction we're going to go for. So it feels like it had a nice kick off the mean threshold of that candle. So we're heading, I think, down for this 24,860-ish area. If we take the numbers out here and I go like this, 24,857. There we go. 24,857. So that'll be my downside target so far this morning. Let's change that back to that. Not that I need it that long. There we go. All right, so that's the downside objective there. Now let's look at the 4-hour chart. Back into that breaker. Oh. See this fair value gap? Right back up into that. We hit off the bull trap, hit right into the here or the breaker, and this little sibby traded back into it. It's crazy. And then we have this change in direction, right? So we have the small little high taken right here, this little swing point. And then we have this price imbalance. We trade through it, trade back into the price imbalance perfectly, and now we're starting to go lower. So now we're coming back inside this range. So now this is an internal range liquidity hunt on a 4-hour chart. And our target would be, look at that, right below. If we're coming back into 50% of this range, we will overtake that mean threshold of the daily. And I'm going to put that as my daily, so I know it coincides with my color, my correct color. That tells me that's a daily. Okay, so now we've got this bull trap's been closed above, so keep this in mind. We've got a change in direction and we're coming back into this range. So we do not want to see right there. No more than that. If you're bullish, it has to stop there and go higher. If we close in the next 4 hours or next 51 minutes, below that number, look for a retest of this SIBI. See how we hit the SIBI already? We pulled off of it. And you'd expect it to go higher, make its way through this imbalance here on the 4 hour. And price imbalance. We expect to see it get through that price imbalance. But you see how it just came up, perfectly filled it, and now we're pulling off of it. So what does that tell you? So that tells you, and we only got 50 minutes left of this hour. So if that was aggressive, we'd probably see that breaking through here and taking this mean threshold out and starting to push a little higher. But it's not. It's kicking off of the very exact spot we're expecting to see some support to go lower, come back into this range, right? So mean threshold of that candle is hit. So if you bulls want to keep going bullish after breaking the bull trap, you can't break here. But if you do, there's your last line of defense. That's that SIBI. Because if we close below that, we're heading for this. We're coming back deeper into this range. I see us pulling back, perhaps down into this BISI here, because there's nothing else there. We got old first presentation fair value gaps down here. They're old ones. So that may be, again, be another data point we draw on if we take this out here. So then you're looking for 50, 62%, 70% using our take profit model 1. That's your short. Looking for our 50%. Unload your position. If you take out that low, move yourself to break even, and you can either pay yourself or just at least move into break even, because we're so close to taking this mean threshold out that we're targeting this down here. So if your stop loss was there to go higher, you're going to get yourself cleaned out. But if you're short, you're going you're already in a profitable situation, or at least paid for the trade. You don't want to see it come back and revisit this now. That's how I'd want to look at that anyway. Alrighty, hourly. Oh, we got the hour chart. So we just need to know if that narrative that we're developing there is being supported. All right, here's the hourly reversal right there. So we traded below it. We trade all the way up inside it. We still have a little portion to visit. We're up at the consequent encroachment of it. And we drop down lower. These two down close candles, we want to see a body trade through them. It trades through them. We come back inside them there, and they're overlapping. So take the second one, it's height. Trade back into that. That's that 4-hour price imbalance as well. Look at that, perfectly fills it. And now we're rolling over and going lower. Market structure shift here. If you've got a small little shift, we get a continuation on the downside. So there'll be like second stage accumulation, distribution. We could see a nice unicorn drop down here into this discount box, which is that, it's an old 3 a.m. candle. Got it? Y'all with me? Are you with me? This weekend I spent a lot of time working on R2. Look at that. Right back, tag the bottom of it. Now we're targeting lower. That's this guy down here. Down, down, down is the day. It's the call today. Right inside that range. This is your liquidity run for the day. It's looking good. Structure shift, trade back into it, go lower inside this range. Here's your next breaker. Take it out, come back inside it, go lower, looking for this to get broken on the downside and that low to get taken out there. Still got continuation. Still looks down to me. Inside this range, box to box. So this is the first time you get to see a internal range of liquidity. You've already hit 70% of that or more, I'm sure. Let's get rid of this one. And look right here. 70% off from trade entry reversal. I just want to see this 5-minute here get taken out now. 25009 W9, and we'll continue lower. If we do go higher, we'd have to break this premium box, and then you're starting to target up in here and up back up in that first one there. Let me just make sure we're all online here still. Let's say good morning to everybody this morning. Who do we got here this morning? We have Hadi. Good morning. How's you? How's the family? How's Daniel? Hope everybody's good. Lucas, my man, the man from Vancouver. Good morning. How are you doing, Lucas? Abs, my man. Albuquerque, New Mexico. You ever go to Albuquerque? Go see my man, Abs. Morning, Abs. How you doing, buddy? Hans, all the way over there in Europe. Good morning, good morning. So that's what I got this morning. I don't know about the rest of you, if you're all in agreement or disagreement. Wherever you're at, tell me what you got. You agree, disagree, let me know. I'm open to anybody's new opinion. Just because it's mine doesn't make it right. Adi says, good morning, Shepherd. Thank you for asking. We're doing great. Excellent. Excellent. How's your weekend? Hope everyone's good. Our weekend was great. Our weekend's great. We've got our venue for our wedding in September. Everything's good. So that's the toughest part, the wedding and the food. Once that's settled, all the rest is just elementary stuff. And my wife's going to put it all together. I call her my wife, my fiance. Anyway, let's get back to this. So that's NASDAQ. Look at this internal range liquidity hunt. Look at that nice little little discount here. Nice little swing point at, and let's put a Hadiz 830 in here. Oh wait, I think I've got. No, I don't. I was trying to get. Reza's indicator on. I could not get that thing on there. I got it started when I downloaded it to like if I go through the internet and sign on to this, the internet, if I go online and sign in through the like the little internet thing up here, instead of actually going through the program, I can't get it through the program, but I can get it through the internet. And I have all my stuff all lined up here with these nice little bars. And if I go through the internet, then I have to put individual bars up there again. It doesn't load the same way. So anyway, so we're into P1 here, or there's P1, P2, P3 here for your premiums. So you got your P1 box to box. Reverse right here, change in direction. Wait for this market structure to shift. It does right there, closes, boop, gives it a little kiss, sends it lower. We're now into the discount box. So what they're looking for now, oh, these are all my Hadiz here. Let me get my Hadi down. My Hadi! 830. Where is he? 820. 830. Hadiz 830. Now my man Abs. I like to take my man Abs there and take a little. I do have an Abs indicator. Where's my 6 o'clock? Abs 6 o'clock, and it starts to make a. There we go. There's 6 a.m. And that brings us right back into our discount box right here, box to box. Derek, B Master D, how's it going? B Master D, good morning, good morning. The girls are still surviving. You didn't lose any? That beehive, you didn't lose that one hive? Oh, man. That's great. That's great. I tell you, if you lose bees on this planet, we're all done. We are all done. People don't realize just how important bees are. They are the one key element in the ecosystem that if you lose a bee, it's over. Nothing gets pollinated. You're done. Done and dusted. We are over. And the pesticides and the chemicals and all the things killing bees out there. Oof. We need them. We need the little fellas. And the queen, of course. Thought I was going to lose them, but temperatures, but not yet. And ants. Oh yeah, there's plenty of ants out there. The world's ever short on ants, come to my place. They're all in my front yard. It's weird. You know, there's a certain time of year you're going for a walk in the morning, and then all of a sudden in the afternoon, there's just flying ants everywhere. And they're all pouring out of the sidewalks. You're like, holy cow, they had a breeding fest over winter. They got bored. Yeah, and there's just millions of them everywhere. And then the next day they're gone. They're back to doing their thing. But the little flying suckers, they're all over the place. You're like, what's in the air? And you look down and they're just pouring out of the sidewalks. That'd be good if we get bees doing that. That'd be awesome. Anyway, let's get back over here. Yes. Yes, I worked on the Mark III this weekend. And let me tell you guys, holy schmackers. I had this sucker dialed in on some serious entry exit points for this Mark III. I think it was Russell who said, hey, if this thing works out, I think I'm going to move to the Mark side. I was like, oh, that's great. So that's what I call the bot. It's called the Mark III. Welcome to the Mark side. That's a good one, Russell. Chris, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? I hope you have a great week. Where are you guys from? Well, Ola and Chris, where are you guys from? Where do you hail from? What part of the world are you at? Tell us about yourself. Hi, my name's Chris, and I like moonlit walks on the beach. I like kittens and fires and campfires, marshmallows. What do we got here? So we got this premium area here. We're above the bull trap. So this looks like it could go higher versus NQ. Oh, that's a 4 hour. Oh yeah, 4 hours, same situation, right? There's that little bull trap. We want to see if that holds. NQ, same thing. They've gapped up, coming back down into this bull trap. We want to see if theirs holds. Theirs hasn't been tagged yet, so they're more bullish overall. Here, look at this. Compare this. This is their 4 hour NASDAQs. We're already into ours and gone through our 4 hour. ES hasn't even tagged its 4 hour yet. Its mean threshold. So it's still looking for more premium. It's already up into P1, P2, and just short of P3. Yeah, and NQ didn't even reach into didn't even reach into 2 or 3. It doesn't even have a well, maybe it does. There's a little tiny one there. Didn't even reach into P1. So these guys are really holding back. And ES, you can see how there's like a divergence there. Even though they have both given you that one's higher than the other, if you dig down into specific data points, this one's bouncing off of data points. This one is being supported. So this one looks stronger than this one right now. So if ES is going to keep things up, then we want to see this hold. But if NQ pulls ES down, then we're looking for them both to break through that midpoint there. Now, here you're looking for this reversal. We've already backed through one level to wait for this premium level. That's already been taken. Retest right now, go higher, take out this, because you're so close, wait for the market structure shift. Get above it with a nice displacement candle, and you're right into the middle of a bunch of other ones. So for me, you'd have to break above here before you consider running for a higher a higher push. And yeah, I always call this Yamnuska for some stupid reason. It's not Yamnuska. It's the furthest inline mountain in North America, just so you know. Mount Yamnuska. I've done a lot of rescues off that mountain. A lot of rescues, a lot of busted up ankles. Anyway, there's Dow Jones here. We've got a change in direction, a retest right here. Now looking for a huge run in here. This would be a nice little dandy run. Look at that. That's a 1 hour chart. I do like this 50% level. Look at that, way back here. That'll bring you right back into this bull trap, this old bull trap we ran through that never got acknowledged. It just ran right through it and said goodbye. So if we start running back through here, now if we continue to keep this bearish, we're looking for this right here, 50%. That's a whole ton of opportunity there on the hourly. Whole ton of opportunity on the Dow Jones right now. Yeah, look at that. Shift, test, shift, test. Ooh. This one right here is the one you're looking for. We have a body close below there. Come back in. Actually overshot it, but came back into that go, no go box. Send it lower. Here's your next go, no go box. Retest right there. Go, no go zones, man. I love them. Love them. Oil. What are we doing for oil? We're back into the discount box right here. We have a nice little kick off that right there at perfection. Look at that. Right on the beezer. Looking for this SIBI to break to the upside, and you want to get back up on top of this to push higher. We're up in the premium box there already. There's a small little imbalance up top at 64.16. Look for a potential fill of this, a retest of this low, and then roll over and come lower. This would be the next price leg lower if we can take this out here, down here now. So I'd be looking for higher to here and then roll over and come lower. If we break through that, look for the bull trap, give you support and take you on. What is copper up to? Copper is just the new shiny gold. We don't want a 1 minute chart. Let's look at a 1 hour chart. Got nothing there. Real estate, carry on up. I don't want to see that crap. Let's get back up there. NASDAQ. It's not looking good, you guys. I'll say it. I'm looking for this. If we see a second stage accumulation distribution, we could see a huge distribution coming in the next month or so. One thing I realized this weekend is don't use even though it's just a demo account, it's one I'm trying to work on to get to $1 million so you guys can see that it can be done. And I don't treat demo accounts like most people. I treat it like it's a live account. But one thing I've realized this weekend is you don't use your little demo / live account to practice your bot. and practice trading with it, with Bitcoin. Shit, man, I lost a lot of money this weekend. So I was trying to accumulate some of it back, but I took some big hits this weekend, just trying to practice trading the 3 o'clock candle. And my bot is putting trades on. I was like, yeah, okay, just do that. And I was like, wait a second, I'm losing. I should just start a whole new demo account and practice with that, because it's screwing my my thing up. Anyway, so that's why I'm down to like 300 and something. The 350 something. Yeah, I got nothing there. AGNC, that's good. I want to see that start ripping. Gold. This had some really nice trades this weekend. I look back on this and went, oh, I know it's not trading on the weekend, but I looked back on this weekend and thought, man, there's a beautiful spot right here. The other day, look at that, trade right back into it. Beautiful. You could have caught that long going from box to box. It was a nice, sweet little box trade. Come back down, and you got 1, 2 little boxes right there. You can overlap them and say, these are the areas I'd like to see it trade back into right here. See that? Look at how the bodies respect it. Right on the button. Get a couple of wicks, but the bodies respect it and then leave. That's continuation model, or that's extension model. Then the retest, continuation. And off she goes. So, sweet little ride there. This, if you would have caught that right at the perfect time there on Friday, you would have got a nice little ride all day long. Ola from Toronto, originally Nigeria. Oh, nice. Have you met up with Hadi yet in Toronto, Ola? That's awesome. I love all the big Torontonians. Carla's got to come out there again this year, I think. So I might come out and see you guys again. It'd be good to meet Ola as well. We'd have like another big Toronto convention. Big trade summit there in Toronto again. That'd be awesome. Mark, good morning. Good morning, guys. I feel honored. Thank you. Oh, Mark, it's been, wait till I show you what I have done with your 3 a.m. I've got so many, it's so many options inside your thing, because I wasn't sure how you would trade it. But when you actually go through trying to program your 3 a.m. to 3 a.m., I tell you, man, it is not an easy thing. I've got almost 1,000 lines of code trying to, you run into one little pitfall. It says, okay, what are you going to do with this? And then you have to say, okay, if I have a 3 a.m. candle and I start trading on it, how do you first acknowledge a 3 a.m. candle? You have to extend it. Then you have to say, I have to go back in history and I have to find all the other 3 a.m. candles. And then you have to say, all right, how am I going to activate that? Do I trade out of it first? Is it filled or unfilled? Then you have to, get the code for filled versus unfilled. Then you have to come back and say, you have to define it first. Then you're going to come back and say, all right, now we're going to activate it. How do you activate a trade? And then what's your target? You want to bring up the nearest one, the partial filled, the full filled, or the nearest one. So you have different options, and then you have to code all that. And then you say, well, if you make it through there, is there a scale out point? So you have to have scale out points. And then you say, if you move through, is it a chain? We create, it's called a chain, creating the chain or continual chain. So if you have a continual chain, you can click that button. They have toggles for tons of stuff. You can toggle it on and off, and it will say, okay, you can continue trading through this to the next one and the next one and the next one. And it just keeps bringing up the next one and the next one. And at the end of the day, it stops. And then it says, okay, when do we reset? So I said, well, just reset at the end of the day. Wait for the next 3 o'clock candle to start. Start it all over again. Start the loop. That was what I just finished up with yesterday, and we were like 90%. It was telling me it was 90% finished on all the little bells and whistles of this thing. But it looks like I'm gonna have to have one of those sessions where we all get together on one of those meetup Skypes. I know they don't do Skype anymore, but anyway, one of those little meetup chats, and then I'll go through explaining it all to you guys, and then I'll drop the bot on in our actual community. I'll drop it in there, and you guys can try it out. Tell me what you think, and then if you need any modifications to it, you let me know. And Mark, you're the guy. It's you that has to decide whether or not that's moving towards your idea. I just threw a bunch of my ideas in there, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But that's my gift to you for bringing that to us. I appreciate that. And Abs, I haven't forgotten you. I'll work on yours as well. Yours is going to be very similar to the 3 a.m. candle. So that's what I should probably just show you what I got. I think I got it on here. What's this one? No, that's my one. This is what I had to do while I was in bed. Let's try this one. $916 lines of code. Oops. Guess it helps if I send it. Oh, shit. Forget it. There's a bug. How's that already? Anyway, I'll go back to that one. Yes. So if you run into bugs, how do you get the AI to sort the bugs out and remember the bugs? Oh, I tell you, you could develop new plans every time. I don't envy Reza having to do all that stuff. Go through all that lines of code, find the bug, fix it. Unbelievable. That's a shame. It was working good there last night. To get that to, let me put that over here. This one I know is working. This one I know is working. This will kind of give you an idea where I was at there last night. This one is the mark side. Turn that one off. Yeah, don't sweat this stuff. That you can actually toggle on and off. This is all the stuff we got. So you set the time zones, show the different historical things, so you can go back whatever number you want. You can change those out. That's the historical history, and it'll tell you what your win-loss ratio is based on specific setups. Focus on the nearest one, above one, or the below one. You show the spotlight. It'll spotlight whatever one's the nearest. You can decide what your entry is going to be, whether you're going to touch it or you just get close. As soon as you know, if you just bust through it and you never come back to it, you just say, okay, as soon as you break through it, you're short. You can get it on a touch or retest. It gives you your exit points, take profit 1, 2. You can pick whatever you want for different take profit levels. You can just pick whatever the nearest target is, previous, the most highest priority, unfilled, filled, and how we've defined. I've done all that in there as well. Objective display. You can hit the ladder. We call it laddering as well, or chain. And you can turn that on, off. You can targets only. There's a whole bunch of options in there. How many different 3 AM candle ladders can you attack at one time? You can have an objective for that. It'll preview all the armed ones or not. You can turn that on and off. Like there's a whole bunch of, anyway, there's a whole bunch of little goodies in there. And then they got this whole HUD over here, which really is for me right now, just to confirm that it's actually doing what it says it's supposed to do. And then you can, I'm going to work and take the HUD out of there, so you don't have to have a heads up display. But some people like heads up displays that tells you what their objective is, whether it's filled or unfilled box above you, the times that it's supposed to come in, and what your objective ladder 3 is, blah, blah, blah. It'll all be in there as well. So that's what I did this weekend. So the mock side, I love it. Anyway, that gives you an idea of what we're up to this weekend. Hope you guys enjoy. On a different computer today, aka CJF. You're CJF. Gotcha. I can't wait to see it. Good morning. A bit late to the start. That's okay, Vitaly. It's all good. Look at NQ. See how it came back down into that. See how we closed. We took the wick. We wick through, tagged. They're literally overlapping each other. They came right down, tagged this. Now I want to see that go higher. Now ES, it came down. It tagged the big bull trap here. Didn't come down to this little guy, but it came down to that one. Held it. Tagged the old high right here. Now it's going back higher, targeting its next P2 up top or P3 up top. And we're waiting for it to see if it breaks through this high here, and then we'll see a continuation. So that's the level we're looking for to see, are we getting support here to run higher? That's the go, no go box here for it now. It's just to get above that, come back, find support, and then we can get our range extension, and then a continuation model for here, and then those 2 premiums above us. So skip the idea of going lower. It did not give us our low run. It says, look, I broke the bull trap. I'm now using the bull trap for leverage to go higher. And we'll get our confirmation when we get through here in the next little bit. So let's stick with an hourly chart in here now. And that translates on the hourly to this right here. If it bounces off of there and comes back down, we're between here and that validation zone on the bull trap. MS Teams, thank you. Yeah, let's do a Zoom. MS Teams. Teams is good too. Yep. We got our little Derek and I got one together years ago, a Teams thing. I can still send that out. I think I still got it on there. Thank you so much. I hope everyone can capitalize. Who needs engineers when we got traders? That's right. You did say traders, right? Traders. Yes. Okay, good. Abs, LOL, regular trading hour filled, and NQ Hans. Look at that, right on the old regular trading hour gap right off the bat, hey? There we go, hitting the premium box there now. This will be good because if you look at the hourly, we got a change in direction here. We've cleared out these lows, change in direction. If we get back up on top of that last little up close candle right there, it's also the midpoint or consequent encroachment of the next BISI get up on top of that, find some support, and then bust through this thing and send her higher. If we don't, if that bounces off of there and comes back to here, that becomes the no-go-go box, no-go-go box, and then start coming lower. So I can argue both sides of this. It looks more bullish now, but we're only bullish to the top of that box. And then I need confirmation that we're going to go lower or higher. We could turn around and send it back down. It does look bullish overall, though, on the 4 hour. That looks good. The 1 hour is finding support. 1 hour is finding support, 15 minutes. Got to get through that box now. See how that bull trap on the 15 lines up perfectly with the hourly BISI, consequent encroachment. Trade through it, come back. Even if you see a big body get through here, close above that, come back and retest that. That's a nice little long right there. Vitaly, can you look at silver on 1 hour? If we break the last fair value gap on the upside, then retest it, that would be a long. Am I reading this correctly? It would be considered initial fair value gap for silver 1 hour, he says. Here's the 1 hour. Oh, look at that. We nailed our old carrot the other day. Okay. This carrot is going right here. We hit it right there. And I do like that right there. So on your hourly, you get a beautiful little reversal here. See how these lows were taken out here? Nice little equal lows. We have a swing. This is the first entry model. Look for the SIBI. I don't look for BISIs on this side. I look for SIBIs on this side. You come back into the SIBI because you notice how this side does not have a BISI on it. I know Michael looks for BISIs over here, but SIBI. If you don't have a BISI on that side, use this sucker. Come right back into it. Look at that. Right at the consequent encroachment. Send it higher. Breaks above it, comes back, gives it a little kiss, sends it higher. Takes out the next bull trap. Right there, body closes above it. We come back inside, give it a little kiss, send it higher. There's no premium up here. You just have the breaker, another bull trap. You wait for that to get broken to the upside. Right there, you come back. You want to tag it and leave. Now see how we're drifting off over here, and we've taken out this candle on. No, they're right there. No close below here yet. That mean threshold of this candle, you want to see hold price right there. That's got a hold price. You got to send it higher now. Wait for this one to get broken on the upside. Come back, find support at that, and push higher. And then you're targeting the carrot. That would be the upside objective for me in the carrot today. If you break that candle to the upside on the 1 hour. Let us not forget the mess on this side here, though. Let me give you the boxes that you'll be running into. Those are the upside boxes I'm looking for. There you have it, Vitaly. There you have it, my friend. There's that little premium right there on a 15-minute chart. Nailed it. Now on the hourly, oh, that's a 15, not a 5. This is a 5. There's the 5-minute right to 198. 189 brings us to 189. So we're inside this one here. Nice little kickoff there. So we've right now on the hourly, if you look at the hourly chart right here, see this upside box? See how we hit it here? And we're kicking off of that. So right now we're bouncing around inside here. So this, we broke a structure again there with another, didn't break structure, we just broke the low there in one wick. And that's, I'm looking here on the 1 hour chart. It's got to get through here and then it's got to bust up there. And right now we're just sitting in the middle of it. So it's a wait and see game. Let's wait and see. If you're trying to force a trade in here, good luck to you. You got to know what you're looking for. Perfect, right? Low present at 8:30 taken. Now high present at 8:30 taken in ES. Michael, easy one. And that would conclude my real money trades for the day. Excellent. This is a smasher trade right here at 9:30. Look at that. Body breaks above it. That's the range continuation model right there. Right to the premium box. Oh, gonna say goodbye to my wife. Stand by it. Okay. Where are we at? Gold, silver, DFN. We went all the way through this? No, we didn't. We got to little piggies. Soybeans. I want to see soybeans held right here. If you're a commodities trader, I want to see this hold. See that hold, send it higher. Wow, that live cattle sure is volatile, hey? That gap up, gap down, rip all the way through, then come back up. Wouldn't want to play in that kind of market where it gaps away on you real quick. It'd be tough to play it. Be tough to play it. This was a really nice trade. If you're into foreign currencies, like, man, you can't ask for a nicer setup than that. 6 o'clock, look at that, trade right into it, and then you couldn't have anticipated that. Well, maybe you could. That's a 1 hour chart. So you could have been in that since Friday or Thursday night, the end of trading day, opening of Friday. Wait for this to set up to occur at midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning. You have a beautiful trade into it. Gives us our 3 o'clock low. Send it higher. Body breaks the high of this candle. Comes back, uses it as support. Look at the mean threshold of that candle. Talk about perfect data points. You guys, that is not anything to do. You guys don't see that. I'm hoping that one day you get to see that, because once you see it, you just can't unsee it. Like, that's a perfect data point. Come back, tag it, and say goodbye. And if you're one tick below that low, you're in a huge run right now in euro dollar propulsion. It's just magical. There's an A+ leave right there. Graded response. Just no, I'm leaving. I'm not even coming back and give you an institutional order flow entry drill, and I'm not tagging an old high here. I'm out of here. How lovely is that? That is euro dollar. 10 o'clock. Where's it? 10 o'clock now. Look at that. American dollar on a dive. These guys are on a push up. As soon as that the American dollar takes that dive down on the hourly, look at this run up on the foreign currencies. Euro capitalized on it. You've got this big pullback in British pound. Euro said, screw that noise, I'm out of here. Oh no, this is the euro dollar or the pound. They started off light and then left. They definitely went against the euro. Euro was super strong there. Oh no, euro is weak there, not strong. Strong, weak, strong. So if you're looking for foreign currencies, you guys are doing this foreign currency stuff. Right there. So that price leg's completed. So now what you want to see is just a retest of this one and then the new leg starting out here. So we're already in that area. We're expecting a reversal. You have to get into 4-hour charts and stuff like that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Toronto Dominion. How is that C doing? Anybody have seen C? The C do? How is C do? Well, that's NASDAQ. I don't know why NASDAQ's over there again. Let's do C on here. Let's see. Citigroup's up too. Let's put that on a daily chart, because that's the one we're interested in. Holy schmackers. Look at that. It's hanging around below that midpoint. Popped up above it. Used it as support and ran right through here. Look at that. That's bullish now. That's right back to bullish. They did not break that next zone. They just stayed inside here. Crazy. I thought that was going lower. I thought it was going lower till it didn't break that mean threshold. Got back up above that. Start switching up inside this zone. And now we're above that. So back to bullish again. Wow. There you go. I was wrong. The DAX. Nice continuation model there. If you can get above here now and use this as support, I'd like to see that push higher and start reaching for these new highs. And just so you know, for March, I will be spending the month of March. If you're in here and you want a lot of analysis on these charts, I'm not doing it. I'm doing a lot of research on long-term investments for the year. So the month of March will not be doing a lot of analysis of here. It'll be searching for investments for the year. So you're welcome to join me there, or you can find somebody else to do some market analysis. It'll be very brief, if anything. I'm just going to be hunting for in different sectors for a good trade opportunity for April, May. That's what I'm doing. Disney's still bouncing off that daily price and bounce, that big gap there, hey? Ran through it to it. Let's see if we come lower and take out these equal lows now. This was our stock pick. Somebody gave us this the other day. Looking down here, looking for this to kick off, get back down into here, catch a deal. And if anybody else has any stock picks they want me to look at, we'll start putting them all in here, and we'll break them down and start hunting them out on. There's a lot of biomedical stuff I'm interested in the next 5 to 10 years. I was watching some of the stuff that David Sinclair's into. Oh man, that man he's changing humanity at the genetic level. If you guys have never heard about the epigenome and CRISPR-9, it's an old technology now, 10 years ago, and the stuff they've done with gene splicing and stem cell research is unfreaking believable. They've reversed aging. Here's a controversial statement. Aging is a disease, and he's now fixed it. In mice, at least, anyway. And now apes. He's gone from mice to apes, and they're doing a first human trial on eyes, repairing. He's cured glaucoma, blindness, and he's got a first human study in January. So it'll be interesting to see in the next 6 months or so if their genetic thing that causes blindness and glaucoma, they got the fix for it. They get in there and splice out the bad stuff, put in the new stuff, and they introduce it in with this special technology they've developed to repair the eye. So it'll be really cool to see how what they get going with that. And they've got some amazing. You listen to this guy and you go, "What? Really?" he claims that there's already teenagers alive today that will see the 22nd century. That will see the 22nd century. They will live over 150 years. Isn't that crazy? The stuff they've done with gene editing now will blow your mind. Look it up. And there's some incredible, there's some people, big people, like billionaires, multi-bazillionaires, are all kind of piling on this. You watch that technology start to take off, especially if they fix that blindness. If that study turns out well, jeepers creepers, you're going to see companies doing some huge stuff. So biotech stuff is definitely on my radar this year. If it's not on yours, it should be. Yeah, it's crazy, Abs. Let me tell you, you need to go on YouTube and look up David Sinclair. David Sinclair. He did this. I read this book called Lifespan. If you haven't read his book, Lifespan, I'm not a big promoter in other people's stuff, but if you read Lifespan, what he's done with the with genetic editing, unfreaking believable. They can grow hair, human hair, on the back of mice. They can age it to make it go gray and then go back to healthy hair again. Like the same color, everything. Literally reverse. They can just take the aging of it and make it go gray, and then they bring it all the way back again. And that's not just dyeing it. They actually change the genes and re-trigger the blueprint for the genes. And then the cell starts all over again. It's unbelievable. It's like science fiction, man. And we're there already. Where we've come in just 10 years is unbelievable. Think about where AI's at now. They're doing stuff with AI that they are doing. He says, we're doing things in the lab that would take thousands of years to do if humans had to actually do it. They've got this AI that can actually take certain molecules, run them through a test, a specific analysis, and they can analyze these things in the billions and trillions of combinations, like in a matter of hours, days, weeks, versus thousands of years. And with the AI exploding the way it is, unbelievable. They're gonna actually have, this is what I thought was really kind of interesting. They're actually gonna have so we're looking for retest here, right there. Now you want to see this go higher from here. And we're digging deeper into this hourly. What they're looking at is you have this technology where you put it on your wrist. It's constantly measuring your blood. It's measuring all the chemistry of your blood. And it determines, and this is where science fiction is kind of cool, it measures all the requirements or all the elements that are in your blood and says, you're lacking XYZ element. You're lacking, you need some potassium right now. Your cells need potassium. This is good. Keep coming. You need more potassium. You can find that potassium at a local store around the corner. Grab yourself 2 bananas. That'll be all the potassium you need. Or you're lacking this element here. You need to go over and get this place. And you can find it at this store. Isn't that crazy? You think, yeah, that's not possible. Yeah. Back in 1960, they never thought that sliding doors, moving and opening when people approach them, like in Star Trek, never thought that was possible either. I know it's a little step from sliding doors to analyzing your blood, but we already have monitors that you place on your skin that measures. You just pop the little thing on your skin, and it measures the blood glucose in your blood and tells you when your blood glucose is low, so you can eat food. We're already there, you guys. We're already there. Now, if they know what your genes need, you know what your body needs, And then you just tie it in with an app right now that already says, where's the nearest supermarket? You know where it's there. And you know, barcode, everything's barcoded now. If you've never used that app called Yuka, anybody use that one? Yuka? I don't like that retest here. We've already done that. I don't like this coming back into here stuff. So keep your eyes on this area here and that mean threshold. Leave from here. It's a barcode thing. So it's on your phone. You just put you put your camera over the barcode. It measures, or it looks at all the food. It tells you what the food is that you're looking at. It tells you all the ingredients that are dangerous, cancerous. It'll give you a rating out of 100, whether it's good for you or bad for you. And you wouldn't be shocked going through Costco's. That's all they did was go bing, bing, bing. It was barcode and everything. And there was stuff like, oh, I used to love nachos. Those little Tostitos or whatever they were. And they were like 0 out of 100. They're absolutely not good for you in any way, shape, or form. And then the other foods you thought was healthy for you are so full of chemicals. And then they give you the chemistry, and then they give you the research behind the chemistry of why it's so bad for you and how it affects your body. It's an amazing little app. So yeah, get that app for yourself. At least you get a choice on the food that you're eating, and you get to decide whether or not, and it also gives you alternate ones that are better for you. And it's not sponsored by anybody. It's a little old lady who decided she wanted to know what her kids were eating and had this idea, had the app, tied it in with research, and she's not promoting anybody's stuff. It's all barcoded. It all gives you the ingredients and all the chemistry that's in it. And it tells you what's good, what's not so good. That's perfect right there, right off that mean threshold. Beautiful. Start clearing this high out now. Send it up higher. To be honest, I'm not sure I'd want to the way the world's heading. 70 years might be too much. That's interesting you say that. I want to live as long as I can. I want to live as long as I can. And, you know, by the time I reach 80 or 90, I might even break 2,000 people in here. You know, I would love to live to 150. Because it's not, well, the way they're talking about it is not, you're like this blob of mass that's sitting there going, I'm 150 and I'm not moving, right? No, they say you know, you can you imagine resetting your whole DNA, your whole genetics, resetting it back 20 years, 30 years, and starting again. Your whole body starts over again 30 years ago. And they can turn it on and off. That's the crazy thing about it. They can turn it on and off. So reset you. And they just give you a pill. He says the way they were looking at it is they give you this pill that introduces this DNA reset molecule, resets all your DNA, and then they can turn it off. So you say, I just want to pay for 20 years. You imagine how much this would cost? Jeepers. And they said they want to do it like pennies on the dollar, like vitamins. Like, yeah, sure. It'll be billions. It'll be all the most expensive. Rich people can afford it. But anyway, you can reset your genes, and so it's healthy. It's not just a big blob of you're lying there going, oh, look, I'm 150 and I just get to look around at what's happening in the world. No, you get to interact with it, man. So there's a lot of moral, ethical kind of decisions to make there, right? How is that technology going to be used? Who's going to use it? Because not only can it keep the good people alive, it can keep the bad people alive longer too. So yeah, there's a lot of debate can happen over that, but yeah. He's even got one that he can drop stem cells into a target tissue and it becomes the target tissue. It becomes the target, just dropping it in there. As soon as it hits that target tissue, it starts to adapt to it. Unbelievable, you guys. Unbelievable. And it's all out of Harvard Medical. Harvard. Anyway, that's my little thing. So one of my little rabbit holes I went down this weekend. I don't know if I'd like that, to be without loved ones that you grew up with and had so many memories with. Yeah. Now imagine if you and your loved ones could live longer. Imagine being with your wife and saying, I get to be with my wife another 100 years. No, I can almost hear guys going, holy shit. Another 100 years? What? Are you kidding me? 150 years and still virile, yeah. Yeah, they're even talking about eliminating menopause. That makes women more fertile longer. Like, I'm sure they really want that. They're 80 years old now, pumping out babies still because their body's been reset to that of a 20-year-old. That'd be insane. Pensions will collapse. Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. If they can extend, and I think they did a statistic that if you could extend the workforce, the entire workforce of America by 1 year, it would affect the global economy by $38 billion in lost medical expenses, healthcare. They're healthy people, more productive, blah, 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 blah. And it worked out to $38 billion in terms of the impact on the global economy. Huge. So you imagine everybody getting 1 extra year of productivity out of them. So you wouldn't be retiring at 65. It would now be 66, or it'd be now 70, 71, 72. So your pensions would be pushed up until you're 100 years old, but you'd be working till you're 100 years old because you enjoy doing the job you're doing, right? So you extend the workforce. Now, some people may go, who the hell wants to keep working into their hundreds? Believe me, in another 100 years from now, that will be a standard. Because 200 years ago, if you could make it to your 30s, you did well. 40s and 50s are just unheard of. Now we think, oh, if I could make it to 80, those are good innings. Now it's like, if you're not doing an octogenarian, if you're not like up into a 80 and above, and a centenarian being 100 years old, then this is a really nice trade there. See that target? We're just filling it now. So far, so good. There'll be a lot. Are you looking for a long price close above the 50% of the 3M candle on the 15-minute chart? So you want to come back and see a retest of that now, right, Mark? On the 3 a.m. So you want to see this come back into here, right? Because this is the 3 a.m. candle right there. That's the 3 a.m. candle. So now that we've broke above it, if we can come back in and tag it, you want to see that go higher, right? And you're targeting, the first one is 339. 339. So up here. We come back and tag that. We can take that long right there. Which is also that consequent encroachment we were talking about on the hourly. If we can come back into here, hit it and go long. Now you're talking about coming into the, are you looking for a long if price closes above 50%? Well, that's Hadi said that. I don't know if I would like that. Yuka is a great app to see what not to buy. It is an awesome app for that. There'll be lots of rich folks living forever whilst the poor grow old and die. Yeah, 150 years old and still virile. Pensions will collapse. Better make this trade thing work, or I'll be 118 trying to teach maths to 18-year-olds. Yeah, you never know, man. All right. Change right here. So how are you doing that now, Mark? Is that how you would run that? You just look for a retest of this level and get long there? Okay, there's the first one. Stop loss is going to go down here. So this is a 3 a.m. candle. We are through it, to it. Now you don't want to trade back through here, so that's where you're kind of looking for this premium right there. If we hit that rollover and come back lower and take this out here, then we're definitely going to take me out here. So if I'm just going to trade a 3 a.m. candle all the way to here, if I see it close below the consequent encroachment, then I'll close it out before it reaches my stop loss. And the upside, I would like to see it hit right here. That is actually an overlap of 3 Mark III candles. It's the midpoint between the two. If you add the two together, because they're overlapping, you add the two together, that's pretty much the midpoint. So I'll leave it there and see where we get today. And this could take you a day or two to get up there. I'm in a short in Bitcoin, in this Bitcoin trade. I just got in at a 3 a.m. candle in Bitcoin. Today's 3 a.m. candle, and I'm shorting it to the next 3 a.m. candle. And it's up $1,200 already. And I'm losing that money in this 3 a.m. candle. So we'll see how this acts here now. That's the midpoint. Yeah, you think about pensions there, Ollie. Pensions wouldn't even collapse because nobody'd be able to collect them. They'd be working so long that you'd have to wait for a large percentage of your population to get up into the pensionable years. Like if they said, oh, you couldn't collect pension until you're 100, and you have to wait for your population to get up into 100, you get to collect all that money until they reach 100 years old. And properly invested, like governments do, that could sustain a whole generation. Can you imagine saying, when I hit 100, I get to collect my pension? What are you going to do with the last 50 years of your life, Bill? Well, I don't know. I was thinking about starting up a yacht club. Let me get this out of the way. Yes, yes. Who said that? Hadi? Yeah, of course it was Hadi. I like it. I like it, Hadi. Yes, indeed. Send it up now. That's the breaker you want to see hold price. Its mean threshold is probably somewhere around here. It's still inside our 3 a.m. candle. Send it. I'm going to move this into break even. Pensions are already leaving the scene. Oh, it'll be your 401k that will need to be, you keep going. Yeah. Have they really? Hey, wow. Wait for what? Wait for 50, 62, 50, 61 after break for better entry. 50 to 62% after break for entry. Oh, I mean, you pull back 50 to 62% is what you're talking about here. Okay. So as soon as it breaks that, wait for 50% of the pullback of the range you're in, or 50% of the 50 to 60, to pull a fib tool on the whole 3-hour candle, and then say, take 50 to 62% of this whole thing. Oh, let me do it this way. This would be interesting to see what we get here. There's 62% right there. So if it breaks that high, comes back into 50 to 62%, there's 50, there's 62%. Catch that for a long right there. That would be 62% of that whole range. I like that idea too. I don't know if I can add that to our bot. I could. Let me make a note about that. I think I could. I think I could do that. That's good. Oh, they're both on track now. %50 of the range. Okay. That I can't do, because then we'd have to store this in memory. We'd have to store a high, low, and classify it as a range. So you'd have to define a range for the AI to define the range by highs and lows. And then if you said 50 to 62% of the range, that would be this range. And if that candle was actually one little tick below, that would be the swing, and that would be the range. So that's why you can't use, you got to be real careful with that, because if that wick was just a little bit lower, that would be a swing point. And if you had the AI look for the nearest swing high, swing low for the range that you're in, you could literally check, it would get you in there at 50%. You go, that's not what I want. That's what you said. That's what you wanted. But that's the clarification you gave it. So, for now, Mark, I think I'm going to stick to, because I know you're probably looking at this range here, this larger range, but to an AI, you'd have to say, eliminate this and eliminate this. And as humans, we can judge that right away, but AI, it needs ones and zeros. It needs solid numbers. It doesn't go, well, yeah, I see what you're looking at. Yeah, I'll take that as well. It doesn't give you that kind of evaluation. It says, you tell me what to look for. That's exactly what I'll find. That's exactly what I'll recreate over and over and over again for you. So that's the problem with the range thing. You'll have to modify that when I finish building it for you. You can decide what you want to do with that. Or maybe you get someone like Reza, who's got the genius behind him, to maybe develop something that will see ranges. Now, the way I could define a range that may work is say, look for the BISI and look for the nearest SIBI inside that leg. So that would be the range right there. This would be the range that you'd come back into 50% of. I can define it that way instead of swing high, swing low. So now I don't want to see it come back through here. It's taking the high. You could pay yourself there. But I'm going to hold it now and see if I can reach my target. You can tell it's used a 5 or 15 minute. Now, that may be a bit of a challenge as well. Because if you're trading on one range and you're having it look at another time frame, I don't know if you can do that. You can only use that time frame when you switch to it. So if as soon as you see it break it, and then you switch from a 1 minute chart and you just turn it over to a 5 minute chart, it'll analyze the range you're in. So will analyze a 5 or 15 minute range, but you have to actually be in that range to do it. You can't sit in a 1 and have it analyzing a separate chart. At least I don't think you can. I can check into that. Hadid's out. He's out of there. So it's better to just use it on a 5 or 15 minute. Yep. If you can establish that, if I can establish a range. And on a 5 minute, if we use that principle, here's the rub. If I still use the principle of Bissey and Sibby to create the range on a 5 minute chart, notice there isn't one here. There's a Bissey right here, but there's no Sibby. So the Sibby would be way down here. This would be the range, and it wouldn't let you in right there. You wouldn't be in that trade. So if you said the recent high and low, you'd be looking for this swing here. So there's a small little range right there. So that's why you can't use Bissey and Sibby. See how the frustration you can run into building these things out? You go, oh, how do I define a range? You can see the problem if you define a range too tightly and you're in a too low a time frame, your range, it'll never get in, or it gets you in too early and takes you out, and you go, oh, that's frustrating. And applying a rule that you want, it looks good on this chart today and doesn't look good tomorrow, and yet you still expect it to act like it did on the previous day. It's a bit frustrating. That's why you have solid rules. Doesn't matter how it acts. That's the algorithmic rule. Darren, can I get you to explain the 3 minute strategy to me one more time? Addy, I got the longs too, took partials then, out at break even, got you. I will explain it, Hadi, as best I understand it, and then Mark, you can jump in, okay? Again, I'm just going based on what I'm building out from what I understand of your 3 a.m. candle. So basically what you get is you take your 3 a.m. candle in the morning. So whatever that 3 a.m. candle is right here, that's the 3. It starts at 3 a.m., ends at 3:59 and 59 seconds on the close, right? Or the open of the 4 a.m. candle. That's your 3 a.m. So for me, I look at this and I say, if that's the candle, is it filled or unfilled first? Okay, so this is not filled. That's establishing it. So as we come back all the way to the bottom of it, now that's filling it. This isn't filling it. That's just creating it, right? Till 4 o'clock. Oh, sorry. Till 4 o'clock, which is right here. Wherever the low is. That's the low right there at 3:32, because 4 o'clock's over here somewhere. So that's the high, that's the low. So that is your candle. And it's only been filled partially, halfway. You see that? Only been filled halfway. And then it started to go lower. So as soon as it broke that low right there, retested it right there, that's what I presently have for the bot to go short. You'd be going short there, and you'd be aiming for the most recent 3 a.m. candle that's in the arsenal of, I think I had 388 3 a.m. candles in the history. It would hold on to 300 or 288 3 a.m. candles, and it would give you the nearest one and say, as soon as you start hunting into it, as soon as you hit the midpoint, you can scale out at the other side. And if you trade through the other side of it, you can get long there. That's that chain or laddering effect. You can continue in your trade until you reach the bottom of your next one. And you just move your stop loss accordingly. It doesn't move it. This thing doesn't move trades for you, but it's marking it so that the HUD either tells you, if you're using the HUD, will tell you where your next target is, so on and so forth. So according to Mark this morning, if you get this range, so here's the problem with the range thing, right? So if we're going to go short off of this morning, right now I have the bot trading right off of here. So as soon as it hits it, tags it, away you go. You can turn it into, as soon as it breaks that, you can start going short the very next candle. So if it's a long candle, it starts down here, you go short there, and even if it retraces and tests it, that's okay. When you break the mean threshold of that on a close, then it closes the trade out. It says it's failed. You should only get a retest and then go lower. No more than the way I have it presently set up is no more than the mean threshold of the whole 3 a.m. candle are you allowed to trade back to, because we don't want to trade about that, because according to Mark, any rule of a 5 or 15 minute chart that closes above that midpoint, you don't want to be in that, especially if it's in the direction, if it's against the direction you want to go. So 3 a.m. candle, you guys will have to decide whether or not you want to use that as your entry for a long or a short. For me, I'm keeping that right now. I'm going to try and build in that extra one that Mark's just offered, but I think we'll have difficulty with the range. Because this range, if we break right here and we say we're going to retrade back into the range, the most recent high and low, that's the most recent high. And this would be the most recent, no. Yeah, as soon as that candle opens, that was, look at this as the low. So it would trade back into 50% of that range, which would be around here somewhere. You wouldn't get in on that trade. So that's the problem with the small little ranges that you define as swing points. And this is the kind of stuff that screws up your chart. So we're looking for this, and then it goes back through the history of these. So that's the morning, today's one. It goes back through the history and finds the most recent filled, unfulfilled, yet to be filled, nearest. You get to decide. That was what was in my list of drop-down menus. You get to pick what one you want to hunt for. If you're more conservative, you'll pick the nearest one. If you're much more aggressive, you'll say yesterday's one. You can hunt yesterday's. Oh, so if we went from today's to yesterday's, especially if yesterday's is unfulfilled, and we got our setup happening on what we do every morning, if it actually shows you the reversal and we have our downside objective, which happens to be a box-to-box trade, and it happens to line up as a 3 a.m. candle as well, bonus, you can go from 3 a.m. to 3 a.m. with a little more confidence that it might get there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Hadi? And then you can also retest it. So once we go back through it, you can do this whole thing where we're in long now, because it's now broken it to the upside. The opposing boundary has been broken. So the way I arranged it was, once the opposing boundary, so if we violate this, see how we've come back, we traded right back to the mean threshold, then we broke it. So that now short is no longer valid. Well, we saw that was no longer valid down here. So if you're using this with my method of catching a reversal, as soon as you see that reversal, close your trade off, and then you wait. If it comes back through the 3 a.m.'s consequent encroachment or mean threshold, then you say, great, now I want to see it break the opposing boundary. If it does, as soon as it comes back to that boundary, I catch it for a long. That's where I caught my long right there, all the way back to consequent encroachment. We don't want to see it break consequent encroachment and then go back higher. So that's how come we're in the trade that we're in, because the boundary was broken. Now we're looking for the next 3 a.m. candle above us, which is sitting at 25,341 and ends at 25,438. And the one above that, its bottom is 25,400 and ends at 25,510. So that puts me right in the middle of it. So if I can target that spot there, that's just in the middle of those two, and you scale out. So I'll have three. So I'll scale out the first. I'll take one at 25,341. I'll take another one at 25,400, and then I'll let the rest run to there. Now I could start cinching my trade up here, but I'm going to try to practice staying in here. So I still have the potential to lose 2,000, even though I'm up 3. You may go, well, there's no way, man. I ain't losing 3 grand. This, I want to give it some legs to see if it gets up there. And just trust, because I did this with Bitcoin the other day. and it stayed sideways. And I started panicking because it was in that little sideways waffling for most of the day on Saturday or Sunday or something. And I was like, I got out. And then all of a sudden it literally took off. And I had a $30,000 takeout point, and it went through it. And I was like, oh shit, I got to let these things sit. So I'm going to let this sit today and see what we get. Now you trade, I'm trading on a 1 minute chart. I'm trading on a 1 minute. Now, if you're doing what Mark does on a 5 or 15, that's his entry. I think he uses a 5 or 15 minute entry. And as long as his 5 or 15 minutes stays above the consequent encroachment of the 3 hour candle, he's long. And as he's just said, he uses the range. Once you break the outer boundary of the 3 hour candle, once you trade back into the mean threshold or consequent encroachment or his 50 to 62% of the range that's created, as long as that range that you're in occupies that 3 a.m. candle. Right? Because if that range, here's the complication, if that range extends beyond the 3 a.m. candle and it's 50%, breaks the opposite boundary, it's a no-go for the bot that I'm building. So you may find problems with my one versus your one, Mark, in terms of the strategy. I'm trying to keep it as close to what I understood your strategy as being. But if you see anything you want changed, please let me know. I will put it on my list of things to do, and I will try to switch it up. Is stop loss. I have not built in, and that may be the final phase. I may have to add another phase on this, because the phase I'll be working on this week will be the take profits and all that stuff. It's the last 10% of all the steps I had built in to model this. It's the last piece. So I will work on that, Hadi, where I can get it to advise you, if you want, where to put your stop loss. But then I don't want it to turn into an advisory thing. Because if somebody says, hey, look, your thing lost me money, you're responsible. Obviously, I'm not going to. It's all games. Think of it as a game, as a toy. You get to play with it. What you do with it's your business. I think that you have to rely on the trader having some intelligence. I don't want to take it all out of your hands. You're still going to have to move your stop loss accordingly. Like for me right now, I'd love to just slam that sucker right up against here, because that's typically where I wouldn't want to see this market structure shift to the downside. So I would move that in there just to be safe. But I'm going to leave it and see if I get my target today. And this is more of a personal discipline thing, because I'm always into this. I got to run it up and protect it and keep my $2,000. So I just want to see if it pans out the way it's supposed to. Because if this turns around here now and I throw $4,000 away and end up with $1,000 in the hole, that's the psychological game you got to play with yourself, right? Which is, anyway, I'll explain it more once I have the bot going, and then Mark's with us on the Teams meetup. We'll all get together, and then Mark can kind of talk us through it as well. And then if I need to make any notes, I'll make some notes based on what he says, and then we'll turn it loose. You're welcome. Need to run to some other responsibilities this morning. All the best. See you tomorrow morning. See you later, Derek. Take care, buddy. Chris, will you be able to add a database with statistics to it? A database? Like right now, it's got a win-loss ratio. That's about it. It tells you, right now, it tells you a win-to-loss ratio. I don't know what kind of database you're looking for, Chris. I have a bunch of 5-year average statistics on percentages of hits, standard deviation levels. You might have to build a bot around that yourself. You might have to take this thing, get AI to analyze it, and say, how do I use this model back in time? How do I... It's doable. I remember programming my own bots to go back into time to find time in a bottle. So it's doable, but it's not something I was going to add to complicate this more than I need to. On standard deviation levels. Oh, that's interesting. And how is that looking? The standard deviation levels, because you really have to know what you want to pull that off of to get your standard deviations, and then determine whether statistically you're accurate picking your pull points, right? Because if I pull a standard deviation from here versus here, I'm going to get two different statistics. So your stat would be specific to your pulling of a base line to get your standard deviations. Does that make sense? So you may pull it from here, I may pull it from there, and they'll be lined up in two different places. So unless there's a set rule that says, no, all standard deviations are pulled from this point, and everybody agrees to it, that statistic is specific to you and how you pull it. How you pull your deviations, man. How do you pull your deviations? Do you have a specific day for the team's call yet, Darren? No, I'm not rushing it, because as you saw at last night's iteration, already had 2 bugs in it. And I just let that sit on there last night while when I went to bed, I gave it a bunch of rules, said, figure this shit out while I'm going to bed. So it did. And then I just plugged it in. You saw me plug it in front of you. And it had 2 bugs in it. So hundreds of iterations you will do when you build your own. You may get so frustrated with AI, and then you develop these little techniques for managing AI. I could write a book on freaking, or at least a small little short story on AI and the frustrations you can have with AI when you're building your bots, and how you have to talk to AI. It's so crucial, because it talks to you like a real human, but it doesn't understand you like a real human. That's the problem, because you go, oh, yeah, you get it. And it doesn't. And you have to really structure, you have to be disciplined enough to be able to structure your idea in a way that is not only testable, but provable consistently. Because if it's not, if you're just looking at one chart and you're saying, I want to meld it to this chart, and then the next chart's different because the candles don't line up exactly the same way, and you're frustrated going, why are you not finding this? Why is it that not working? Well, that's not what you defined. You defined something else. And you go, oh yeah, okay. I'm making an assumption. What I look at on the chart and what the algorithm actually sees, or what the bot actually builds, holy cow, man, they are starkly different. And you've got to go, oh man, I am making a lot of assumptions as a human. A lot. Okay, I can't help it. I'm going to have to move this to break even now. I'm up $6,000. It would kill me if I turn around and that came back in there, but we'll see. See, I've already violated what I said I wouldn't do. I said I wouldn't move my stop loss, and here I am moving my stop loss. I just look at this as that's a market structure shift. So if I trade through here and I trade through here and I trade through here, how many times do I want to be warned that this is coming back against me? And we've already got the range extension model here already in continuation. We've got the range extension, and here's the retest, continuation, right at the consequent encroachment or mean threshold of that candle. Look at that. Boop. And then we get the continuation. So supporting our Mark III model and continuation, we could just I'd like to move it to here now. Oh, I want to move it right here. So I'll let you know, Chris or Lucas. I'll post it in the community channel so you guys can see it, and then I'll probably need some help on how to upload it because I'm not just going to load up all the code. There's just too much of it, and I'm just going to lock it. Do what Reza did. I'm going to lock the code, and I'm going to send it out as a specific indicator, and you guys can just grab it, use it, and then tell me if you like it. That way nobody's going to fuck around with it and screw it up. They're just going to let me know, and then I can play around with it on my end. But I want to give it to Mark first because it's his idea, and out of respect for Mark, I want to be able to give it to him because I've been dicking around with his idea, and I could be way off base here, and I want to give him the respect that he needs for bringing that to us. It's like Abs and his stuff, even though I know it's Michael's. We look at Michael as Michael brought the information to us, but how you guys use Michael's information is awesome. Because Michael never taught a 3-to-3 that I have ever heard of. So I know a 3 a.m. candle works out with my Tibbs. It's one of my Tibbs numbers. And 3 a.m. candle is a perfect candle for a reversal. So you can overlap multiple different views at it, but the fact that Mark is using it the way he is using it, I give him the credit for it. Even though it's ICT idea, people take somebody's idea and they can expand on it and it works for them. I'm all for it. I'll give him the credit. We know where ICT brought this information to us and how we're using it. There's people out there using some genius shit, man. Amazing. They're using it really well, so I want to give them credit for it as well. It's like you're 8:30 a D. I use the 3M candle for the London session, so when we get a 5-minute close outside of the 3M candle, depending on the day of the week, it gives me a certain percentage that over the last few years it hits. Oh, interesting. I'll be interested to know what your stats are on that, Chris. Maybe when we get into our little discussion, if you come to our Teams chat, we can talk about that stuff. That'd be awesome. I'd love to get together on a weekend or something like that where we can all kind of pick stocks and have like a stock picking club. Pick some stocks out for some big hits this year. Be some awesome. We get multiple heads together, multiple different sectors, and start doing a little research. We could all come out with some big players this year. Hundreds and hundreds. The 0.511, 1.52 levels, etc. Hundreds and hundreds. I don't know what that means, Mark, but I'll send an example in the Telegram. Okay, Chris, thanks. Excellent trade. Silver just broke that bull trap. Oh, let's have a look at silver. We've been sitting in that for a while. Oh, look at that. It didn't break the bull trap. It's right on the money. We called that spot right there. It's running. I want to see it. Oh, it broke this bull trap is what you're talking about. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Send it up. We said this would be the day run. That's looking good now, man. Looking good. That guy's still going on to me about taking Bitcoin. That bioflow, I guess they call it. it's all about trading Bitcoin and leveraging, and you have to put like thousands of dollars into this thing if you want to. And if you lose your position and you leverage 1-to-1 and you lose $1,000, you owe them $2,000. And a lot of people don't have thousands of dollars to drop into these accounts and try them out and trade Bitcoin and other different cryptocurrencies and stuff. I haven't looked at it. I told the guy I'd have a look at it, but I've got too many projects on the go right now, so I will get around to it. I will get around to it, and I'll let you guys know whether or not it's something to play with. If anybody's done that BioFlow, pop into Telegram there and have a chat with me. Let me know what you think. Thank you, Darren. Need to go now. See you soon. See you later, Hadi. Sorry, buddy. I don't think I missed him there. Thanks, Darren. I think you spend a lot of time programming. I do. I do spend a lot of time programming. I do love AI. I'm going down I'm going down a medical rabbit hole too. This is my obsessive compulsive type of a thing where I just hyperfixate on something, and I do love this whole biomedical engineering thing. So I'm going to start talking to AI. I'm going to find it one of the top AI models and medical models, and start playing with that. So if anybody knows a really good medical AI, like really intense medical AI, then let me know, because I would love to start playing with it. I got some questions to ask based on my AMP knowledge. I got some things I want to start playing with. And I want to learn. I loved anatomy and physiology. I took it like 3 times in university, and I passed it all 3 times, but I just I loved it that much. It's fascinating. We had to dissect cats and everything back in the day. Chris, I would definitely know the stats. Chris, I would definitely know the stats on that. Hundreds and hundreds of AI iterations when building. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. You can do, and then the thing is with AI, you have to start a new chat at a certain point. You'll recognize when the AI is screwing things up so many times that you're like, it's repeating the same mistakes over and over again, or it's completely off on a little side tangent. You go, oh, that's not, I don't know why it's doing this. And you get frustrated, or you wait and wait and wait for it to make a response. You need to change the chat out. There's lots of little things you got to remember with AI. And it doesn't remember one chat to the next chat at all. Yeah. It's not just a number of hundreds of iterations. It's hundreds of iterations that you do, and realize that you didn't need to do 100 iterations. You could have fixed this problem a whole week or 2 ago. I went maybe a good solid 2 weeks on one chat. It had thousands of pages of conversation change. Oh, he's back. Must be getting spring at the woodpeckers on top of my aluminum vent on the roof. Hammer down, they're trying to bring in the girls. Usually that's in the spring. It's because we've had such warm weather here. Anyway, yeah, so there's little tricks you'll learn about AI if you've never done it and you want to take this on yourself. Just give yourself a lot of grace, a lot of patience, because there's so many things that you'll learn when you talk with AI, how to talk to it, what to look for, when to see it if it's failing, how to recognize when it's failing, and what to do to mitigate all your continuous mistakes. You spend a lot of time learning how to talk to AI. That's one of the battles you have to overcome. And if you're one of those people that want results right now, ain't gonna happen, man. Maybe in another year or two when AI gets smarter and smarter and it says, okay, dumbass, I know what you're looking for. You go, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Because when it's working, it's stunning to read its analysis. You'll be cutting and pasting so many charts. You'll be pasting things in there saying, I want this, I want that. Look at this, analyze what I've done here. Tell me what you see here. Put it in a structure. How would I implement this? What kind of code would I write for this? Blah, 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 over and over. And believe me, AI, just from when I started building bots 3 years ago to what it's doing now, unfreaking believable. We'd pay a guy over in Spain to build some real technical jargon for us. It would take us a month to get a bit of code back. And he'd make a mistake and we'd have to send it back to him. And then he'd have other clients and then he'd get to it. Then he'd come back. We'd go back and forth and back and forth. It would take forever to get one piece of code that we could plug into our thing and then try to make it work. And he'd spend my buddies would be spending hundreds of dollars on code. And you just go like, man, we can't afford to keep going back and forth like this on something that we're just speculating. Now, I can write 1,000 lines of code with a bot, with the AI, and change it, and then write another 1,000 lines of code like in a matter of seconds. Seconds. I can go, nope, that's not what I want. I want this. Yeah, okay. It thinks for like 20 seconds or 4 seconds and then starts writing the code out again. Crazy. Crazy. And that's just a matter of 3 years. Gone from spending hundreds of dollars to seconds. From a month getting code to seconds. In a minute, I'm just going to be able to put this little helmet on. It's going to Bluetooth to AI, and it's going to track my eyes. And what I look at, it's going to read what I'm looking at. And it's going to go, oh yeah, okay, I see what he's looking at. Look for this. And then it's going to go here to here. Okay, yeah, track my mouse. And as my mouse moves here, this is what I'm looking for here. Watch it come back, tag that. Then I'm looking for this piece here to break, reassess that and send it higher. Watch that routine over and over again for me. Okay, yeah, I could do that. All right, hey, guess what? It's happening. It's going to track my eyes. It'll actually figure out what it is I'm looking at, write code while it's going. And you wouldn't even have to worry about code. It'll say, oh, I've already set it up on your computer already. I see what you're doing. I'm watching you and I'm watching how you interact with the charts. That's good enough for me. That's crazy. Isn't that insane? That's what it's going to be like, I tell you. My morning session, London morning, starts with statistics on gap fill and 3 a.m. standard deviation levels divided between 3 and 7 and 3 and 11. Oh my God, Chris, you're a statistician, are you? Jeepers creepers. As a software developer, I'm looking forward to fixing all the code written by AI. Oh, you are? Well, believe me, you're gonna find AI is getting better and better at writing that code. That's the crazy thing about it, right? That's the crazy thing about it, is it's getting so good at writing it. And if it's producing indicators that work, you're going to be out of business, man. Unless you're the one writing AI code. Software developers, man, you got a limited life expectancy when AI is around, I'll tell you, that's a hard one. It's the same with all the artists. You know, our son's got this business, and he's a graphic designer. You want to build websites, you want to rebrand yourself or brand yourself, he's the guy to go to. And oh man, even his stuff, you can go to Grok or one of those guys and say, create me an image of XYZ, and it does it. You don't have to paint it. And as an artist myself, it takes, you know, you got AI creating something that's beautiful and you go, wow, that's amazing. But it's not human generated, right? It's AI, but a lot of people don't care anymore. As long as it's something that stimulates their senses, that's all they care about. I'm squeaking it in there, Mark. See that? I'm just kind of slowly eking it up here because I don't want to lose 8, 6, 7 grand worth of this. But this is the hard part about your strategy. It's for those of us who are just used to looking for reversals and changing direction and support levels and so on and so forth. If I chase those up, I'd literally be sitting right here. Because for me, that'd be a market structure shift. We'd be through one premium level for a reversal plus a structure and another one. That'd be it. I'd be out. And yet it could come back into there because there's no SIBI. So I'd have to use the take profit model 5, which means I should still be sitting down below my entry. Because there's no SIBI here. There's no SIBI here. The first one's right there. So I'd be sitting like right there. If you lose that whole range there, you're on the wrong side of it. That's a take profit model. No, not 5. That was that 7. Take profit model 7. I was talking to a friend of mine this weekend. He's written 3 books already. And I was asking him about developing a course and how I would go about doing that and publishing it and so on and so forth. And he said, he gave me some really cool ideas for mind mapping it out. So that's another project that I have to work on, is develop a course around just my 4 models, my take profit rules. That's it. It's just my stuff. It's all based on Michael's core principles, and he will certainly get the credit for that. But like I told you, you've got people out there that develop their own methods for trading the market. I will give you my 4 methods in that, and all the take profit models that go with it. But that's along with my calendar. Yeah, the calendar idea that I had from like 2 years ago that I still haven't. I started with it. I even started building most of it in, and then, as usual, got sidestepped with another idea and following through. I need a team. I need to get my team of people together and start building this stuff out. Yeah, big risk, big profits for sure, hey? But this is the kind of thing you say, you know, there's $7,000. It's in my pocket the moment I click that button. So you can say, I'm happy with 7 grand for my day. You know, have you made $7,500 today in your job? How long does it take in your job to make $7,500 bucks? Or you could say, you know what? I'm happy with $2,700 today. That's either money I could have right now if I want it. That's my goal. That's what I've got. That's what I'm guaranteed. Unless it gaps down against me, of course. But that's what I'm guaranteed. That's what I have. That's what I want. Or you just ignore that and just say, look, I have an objective. That's all there is. I have an objective. Don't worry about these stupid numbers on the side here. Eliminate them and just wait for your objective to get hit. That's the trust in your model. And I'm going to trust his model. And look at that, right into the abs at 6 a.m. here. I know abs, it's Michael's 6 a.m., but I love what you did, man. New week or new day opening gap. High likelihood that that's going to be the draw on liquidity on the February 4th. That's going to be our liquidity run. And we'll scale out one there anyway. So I got to go. Unfortunately, thanks for the lessons today. Looking forward to where we are going with these ideas. No problem, Chris. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. I'll look at it as each session is a candle and they need to touch. Or it creates a time imbalance or a time lapse is what I call a time fair value gap. Ooh, say that again, Mark. What do you mean by that? Say that again. Look at it as each session is a candle and they need to touch. Like, you mean like each 3 a.m. candle has to touch. They're just bouncing back and forth between one another. Is that what you're saying? Or a lapse in time. Interesting. I just remember when Michael said one day, you don't even need these candles. You don't even need these charts to trade the market. You don't need candles at all, which I thought was a very interesting thing because it tells me more about time than price. Time is more important than price. Here's the 11 o'clock. This is that turn we're expecting at 11. Now how far down it comes. This is one of those ones that could sweep all the way down into here and then turn around and go all the way back up again. And that's that whole idea of keeping your stop loss at break even, or, you know, we'll see. Each session, Asian high, London, New York. That is what took me down the rabbit hole, and I figured, how did they trade before computers? You just trade the session. That's an interesting. If you treat each session like a candle, that's an interesting point. That's a very interesting point. Yeah. Uh, yeah. If you take that, that would be Mark, you think about that, that would only be the uh it would be this chart. It would literally be this chart. Watch. It's the 8-hour chart. London, New York, London, New York. They're 8 hours each, right? I think they're 8 hours each. Eight-hour chart comes back into our well, that's right on the 4-hour. Comes back inside our bull trap, sends it higher. Premium box, trades through it, comes back into it, sends it lower, right through our breaker, or right to our mean threshold of our breaker on an 8-hour chart. Reverse, change in direction after taking out a low, change of direction, bull trap, trade above it, come back right through the mean threshold of it, aiming for that discount box. You trade through the discount box, back into it, send it lower, extension, continuation model right here, trade back into it, send it lower, reverse, reverse. You don't get it here. This one here, you get it right there. Was that one there? Nope, you don't get it there. You wait for this guy to here. See, like 3 8-hour days later, come back into it, then send it higher. Aiming for a next target up here. I think that's like a London session, right? Then New York. Then Asia. London, New York, so on and so forth. The 8-hour chart. How's our silver doing there? Oh, look at that. Vitaly, are you in this for long? Are you in our silver lineup there? Did Vitaly get in there? There's 14 of you left. Might be the end of this session for me if you guys are all bailing anyway. Good for you, buddy. Good for you, man. Glad to hear it. You got yourself at a risk-free place now already? You should be risk-free by now. on a 1 minute, 15-minute chart. There's a retest right there. Break the high, move yourself to break even and let that run. You don't want to see it come back into here. You want to see that stay open now. So if you're in on that in the 15-minute chart, you're running higher. If you're in on that in a 5-minute chart right there, retest, see how we popped up above it, come back, retest it, send it higher right there. That's the range continuation model. That's the extension. Here's the continuation. There's the continuation. You break a high, make sure you move to your stop loss into a place that you can let it run now and feel safe to not stress out. There's the new SIBI. That's the take profit model 7. Or no, is it take profit model 5? I can't remember them now. I have to write them all out. So you wait for a new SIBI to form, break a high, and that becomes the new range that you want to see. Remember we kept talking about you'd have to wait a long time for the range to create a new SIBI below you, or a new SIBI so you can get back into the bottom of that range, because then you know that that's a market structure shift. If I break through here, that becomes my no-go-go zone for a run lower. So now you can move your stop loss from that was sitting down in here right to wherever that new SIBI is. So this is my new take profit model 5. I think it's a 5. Let me just review these. I'm gonna have to write them down as I get older, into my 60s. I start to forget. It won't be till I'm into about 110 or so that I'll have to reverse my genes, get all the way back into that 50s again. Take profit model 1, internal range liquidity. Take profit model 2, run to run. 3 is reversal. 4 is standard deviations. 5 is, yeah, that's 5. 6 is the price leg. And what was 7? Did we have a new 7? I think 7 was something to do with an objective. If we had have an objective box that you start using the 50, 62% or so. You're in as long, Lucas. Yeehaw, baby. Come on in. The water's fine. OKLO, that's over here. I think I have that OKLO in here somewhere. Right there. Yeah. Not quite a tag. It's so close to just coming back and giving that little kiss and then sending her up, hey? That would have been a nice little entry at 68.52. That would have been frustrating if you're at 68.70 was the lowest it hit. But that's back inside that range. You're up in the premium box here. So now you want to get this through here for that to start running up higher there, Lucas. So you're right in your bull trap now. So if you haven't already paid yourself, something to keep in mind anyway. I don't know where your stop loss is or what point you bought in on that. But, you know, $68 to $74 is already a 10% return on your money in 2 hours. Some people spend a year or more in a bank-driven fund to get 10%. You can only wish to get 10%. They sell you on the idea that 7% return on your money is an awesome return. And you all buy into that BS. take a little interest in your finances, take a little interest in the market, learn, learn, learn. You can trade that, change that 7 into a 70. You can do yourself a killer return in a year if you know what you're looking for. Anyway, how's the silver doing? Keep your eye in here. We could get a retrace back into this range here. There's no SIBI here yet. So this little swing point, you could see this change direction into here and come back deeper inside this next range. And you're always pulling your fib tool on here. Look at 62%, puts you right in here and comes back into our midpoint of that candle, right schmuck on the middle of it, 62%. So kind of keep that in mind. Very true. Most stock picks for me are option plays, but I'm trying to monitor for positions I want long term. Yeah. See, something like that. If you can catch a longer term one would be if you can break this bull trap here, and that doesn't just return because you've got an overall downward trend in this market, right? That we don't just come back into the bull trap, roll over and come back lower. So if you're not paying yourself inside that range, then you're running the risk of it reversing on you and coming all the way back down. Just because this is a bullish in a few hours doesn't mean that that little bullish streak that we thought there didn't change its mind and send it lower even still, right? So there's your bull trap. You're coming into it already. So if you're in profit, again, if you're in a short-term investor or a long-term investor, that's your business. But keep your eye on that because that's the next thing you got to get through. And right through 77.40. It's got to close above 77.40, which would put you right above the premium box and give you the bull trap. If you get a nice little displacement candle above here with a fair value gap above these highs, and then your institutional order flow entry drill, then I'd start targeting this breaker and these premium boxes up top. So you can stay in that for another $15 or so. Does that make sense? Even this Mara Holdings, whoever gave us Mara Holdings last time. There's your price imbalance. Okay, it's just a small thin delivery here. You would include all the way down here, but as soon as we get a body above that level, which is right there, we close above it, and we gap down inside this whole level right here. So you take from there to there. So it closed above it. You want to see it get some support in here and push through the bull trap. See how the bull trap and this level occupy the same setup? So you have to wait for a good 50% return back inside that range to catch it long. So I'd be waiting for it down here or waiting for that to break. Get on top of that and you're targeting the next one here. At least move yourself into break evens, cover your ass stuff, right? Uh, 3 a.m. should work for silver because it runs on the same time as equities. Yep, 3 a.m. works on a lot of different charts. I've been popping that as a practice thing on tons of different charts right now. If it's fractal, it'll work on all time frames, all assets. If it's fractal. In longs, I have to go. See you tomorrow. Thanks today, Darren. You're very welcome, Hans. Take it easy, buddy. Gotta go, D. Thanks for everything. See you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. See you later, Abs. Take care, buddy. Totally agree. Thank you, Darren. You're welcome, Lucas. You're welcome. I think that's going to be it for me as well. We're in profit either way we look at it. It's been a good day. Good morning. One trade today. I think 1 or 2 trades today. With the losses I took over there, I even took a Bitcoin loss on that. So I think that was about $1,000. So we're break even plus some. So we're up at least $5, 5,000 today. So far so good. We'll see if that pans out for the rest of our run into today. I'll leave the rest on now. I don't want to see us break through this consolidation to the downside. Cam Model 1 entry here now. You want to see that continue going higher. I don't want to see a Cam 2 get broken, because then we're looking for a run on the liquidity below the market, and I don't want to see it go that low. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show this morning. Thumbs up, like the whole 9 yards. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up, and like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. We're here to help people out and move everybody, shift everybody forward in oh, there's my first shit. I should be taking a profit right there. I'm going to take one off right there. So I forgot. There's my first take profit right there at 25,339. It should have been right here. That's when the first profit was. The second profit will be at 23.9 or 398, and then the last one's obviously going to be right there. Yippee-yi-yay. All right. Sorry, how are you holding this? I'm holding it now until I've got the 3 a.m. candle. We're just coming into the next 3 a.m. candle at 339.75. That's the one I've got right there. 339.75. Pay yourself there. And then the next, there's a 2 overlap. So 339.75 all the way up to 510. That's the upside. So if you split the middle, consequent encroachment of both of those, it's about here. So that's how I'm kind of pay yourself, and then see if we get the rest of it for today. That's how I manage in mine. Addie, I don't know how you're going to do yours, but hold to target or stop loss. Move stop loss in profit if you are in, and let it do its job. Yep. Thank you, Darren. See you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. See you later. Thanks for tuning in. As usual, send in the love. Be kind to each other out there. It's a fantastic world. We are living in a fantastic time in history, my friends. Enjoy it. Be kind to each other out there. Live your life to the fullest, but do it in a kind way. Help people out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Right back at you guys. Thanks.